Evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Steward's Room. As usual, I'm going to be going through the ones that have been reported first. This first one here was reported by Carl Graf against Lewis Werrell. So let's run it through. So I've got no major problems with this, to be perfectly honest. We see Lewis make a bit of a lock-up on the entry, but it's the inside tyre, probably front right. It's unloaded, it's not really doing anything anyway. It doesn't come barreling in from miles back. It's not an egregious lunge, and he's in control of the car. So I think I've said this before, that dive bombs are allowed. You can't put a move on someone if you're not entitled to the space, and is at this moment is not. If Carl just carried on driving for the apex, it would probably end his race. But by the rules that we've got, he would be Lewis's fault. But Carl leaves space. Lewis makes the apex. There's a brief bit of contact just there, but I don't think that Lewis was arriving at the corner out of control, and that's the key thing there. If you're going to make the apex and you're in control of the vehicle, and the outside car cooperates, then there's nothing wrong with a dive bomb as long as it's clean. And I think this is a clean enough dive bomb that there's no penalty to come from this. It wasn't by no means egregious. Lewis doesn't just shoot overrun the exit and run Carl off. I think this is just good close racing. Okay, next. Let's have a look, see what we got. Okay, next one's Not Wild Race 2, so we'll go through the ones from the results file. Okay, with Carl, and it's with Carl on the scene. Right, alright. We'll put that down to the whole upshifting bug. No, we've had reports of that earlier on as well. Alejandro Kappa, Danny Oliver. So there wasn't really an impact there to Alejandro, but let's just have a look. Yeah, I think that's a different case entirely. I know this is the first lap, but that's not the line for this corner. Lewis is even worse. So this corner is greater than 90-degree right, isn't it? It's real tight. You're definitely not coming in at that oblique angle that we are at this point here. Lewis is trying to do the same. Cars ahead are taking the more traditional line. These two can't get it stopped in time, and they both make contact with Alejandro. Yeah, they didn't get it stopped in time for the apex. They weren't getting it rotated. Every other car is following the actual line. So whilst there's not really any impact to Alejandro, they have caused contact. It weren't a legal overtake in the attempt. It will be a opening lap penalty, so it'll be double points, but it'll not be a severe penalty because it's nothing major came of it, and they certainly didn't come in sideways. So yeah, what's next? Alan Axon with a post. This is a corner cut. We're avoiding. It's this post here, isn't it? Yeah. And then this will be a post as well. It'll be the post that Alan's knocked over. Alan with another post. As long as he's not forced into it. Just got to check. Just trying to get everyone on the track. That's all right. Will Snowden, Alejandro Capa. Okay. All good here. It's all right. Let's see. Tough one. Not tough. So the criteria. So everything's fine up to this point. What I'm looking at is, and it's difficult with the Porsches because they don't really give you a decent overhead camera. But Alejandro's, he has overtaken Will and is on a better line for these next two corners. But I don't know if he's fully completed the overtake yet. And whilst the overtake is still being conducted, Will's still entitled to space. Like I'm really not sure why Alejandro's chopping his nose off there because he's got the better line anyway. Let's see if we can get a better view from one of these. I think there's always overlap. It's an odd one, isn't it? So I think Will's entitled to space. However, I don't know, for starters, why Alejandro's trying to chop his nose off because he's got a better line. Equally, I don't know why Will is trying to keep his nose in here. when this is always a possibility. I don't know. What's the net effect? Smoky engine there. Will loses 3 places. Yeah, Alejandro looks like he's turning in really early there, and unnecessarily so. He wouldn't have got clear left because there was always overlap, and Will lost 3 places, so it'll be a penalty for Alejandro. Very fine margins, but the overtake wasn't finished. Will was entitled to space. Alejandro should have left it. Could have left it comfortably and it'll have been fine, but didn't. And unsettled Will gets mugged by 3 cars behind. What's next? Johan Kerjin post. So this is probably nothing. Yeah. That's it for race 1. Let's get out of here and look at race 2. Right, while that's loading up then, let's have a look. So the first one is at 6 minutes. Carl Graf, Alex O'Grady. Okay, so first lap. Six minutes. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be looking at. I mean, it was a bit of a audacious send. He made the apex, made the corner. Uses the curb on the outside, but the curb's part of the racing surface, otherwise we wouldn't have them. Let's have a look at it from Alex's perspective. Yeah, I've got no problems with that. That's just someone who's in tune with their car. So this corner is a it's not a straightforward corner. There's not very many straightforward corners, to be fair, on in across the calendar, and this one's no exception. Uh, it's like an increase in radius corner, so your traditional line is to run out wide and come in, but for me, I can't say that the turning point is now because it's not really. It's it's probably if you were going to be V'ing the corner off, it's probably about where they are now, and Alex is well alongside anyway. There wasn't really any contact to speak of. Um, there wasn't any problem with that for me at all. Like this entire sequence of corners here, you're never really not turning. So it's hard to say, oh well, that's not the natural turning point. The only reason Alex has straightened up here now is because he's taken a tighter line with the intention of making this pass. But you basically just got right lock on all the way out to that curb and just nicely to keep the lock on, and everyone's still moving right, turning right, following the track. Just a nice overtake. I've got no problems with it. Nothing came of it for anyone. Certainly, no one was disadvantaged. Yeah, no problems with that. The next one, 30 minutes, Carl Graf and Lewis Werrell. 13 minutes. Slightly more egregious, that one, than the first time we looked at something really similar to this. You've got to have wheel to wheel overlap to be entitled to space before they've started turning in for the corner, because by the time they started turning in, they're committed. Carl once again leaves space at the apex. This time Lewis is carrying a bit more speed. Washes wide into Carl. So not really any impact to Carl, except for the fact that he got overtaken. But also not the cleanest of passes. Probably some small penalty to act as a warning to if you're going to do those kind of moves, make sure it's squeaky clean. That's it for reported incidents, so we'll go straight to those on the results. This is the outlap. Okay, Carl Graf and Rida Weilal. No problems there, just cars getting checked up through the corner, braking for that tight left. Yeah, that's fine. Just cars racing in close proximity. Will Snowden with a post. Good. Alex with a post. Probably that post. was. Maybe it was. I didn't see it. Will Snowden with a post. Good. Alejandro Kappa, Johan Kerjun. He's obviously behind. Whoa! Let's have another look at that. You're racing with someone else? No? That just gets it a bit wrong. Braking too late, maybe looking at something else, maybe looking at his hood. When's everyone else braking? What shame as well from fourth. Okay, about the 150. Yeah, 150. Where does Johan start braking? Oh, that's well late for that. 9 miles back. There's the 150 coming up. Yeah, missed it. Nice to see him locking up and not going for the apex and taking to the outside to avoid cars turning in. Can't avoid just clipping the back of Alejandro there. Probably hoping to keep the wheel straight and hope that it slows down, but it didn't. And the net effect was Alejandro loses a couple of positions. So, whilst it's unfortunate for Johan, and he did his best to avoid it, it was his mistake, and it wasn't Alejandro's, and it cost Alejandro, so there'll be a penalty for that. Alan with post. Lewis needs to park it with those dive bombs. Kyle Graf with Reader. That'll be a for Reader. Lost control of his car. Kyle couldn't do anything about it. It's just really ruined the rest of his race. And they're stuck together and just can't seem to get free. Good old sim physics. And then Alejandro with a movable object. End of the race. His car's just on the track. Okay, cool. That's the end of proceedings for tonight then. I'll get this written up in a report and published as soon as we can. Thank you everyone. Have a good night, good day, whenever you're watching this. Goodbye.